Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Another video. I can't believe it. 2 videos in a row. Crazy. You know, we've kind of been sporadic posting, but we're back. We should have some decent content, you know, for the next couple months. We got lots to do on all the trucks, all the farm equipment. Not a lot of field work. All that stuff's done. It's winter here now, but, you know, lots of maintenance to do. So we are kind of jumping around from project to project. Today I had a few minutes, so I thought I would play around with something a little bit more fun. So basically, mind the fingerprints. I ordered these plates without the lights and bought some lights because I wanted to do something a little different. But if you know what these are, these actually go up in the interior on each side of the driver and passenger side above the door. And lots of different companies make these. I've bought some really expensive ones in the past with the glass watermelons. They look really nice. But this was a little bit cheaper option. It was just the plates. They were already drilled, ready to go. I'm gonna add my own lights and switches. So what we're doing here is we're gonna go with dual revolutions this time. So in my other trucks, if you notice, I've got a red one and a white one. They look pretty good. For this one, we're gonna have the interior color, the accent color we're gonna go with for the most part is going to be purple accent lighting and or red. So basically these lights are gonna go from red to purple. That's their trucks, watermelon lights. Pretty cool. And I've got the harnesses for them as well. And we're actually going to do this kind of our own way. So what's going to happen, this is you know, it's on both ways on this switch. So if you switch it one way, both of these, I have this one here will go red to white, and this one's red to purple, obviously. So you switch it one way, both of these will turn red. Switch it the other way, one of them will turn purple, and then the white function is on this one. This one will turn purple. The white function we're actually going to reserve for when you open the door. It's going to light up white. I wish there was another hole here. I could drill it, put another switch so I could run the white separately so you have a map light. But the kit also came with, I'll show you later, another round plate that we could mount up in the interior, in the ceiling, and have a, you know, an independent interior lighting. These white ones are really bright. Also, so even at night you flip those on, it's like the 4th of July in there, like it is bright. So, you know, another thing we could do, we could run another switch to the dash also just to run the white one. But for now, we're just playing around with some of the wiring, and I just went and picked up these switches. So we got the switch kind of mocked in place, and I'm going to get some of this harness out and a little battery, and we're gonna set it up in a way that it works like I was talking about. So let's get right into the work. So first things first, we're gonna actually test some of these lights out. I was playing with it the other day, but I'll just show you. And for this, I'm just using a 9-volt battery. You can use a drill battery or a jumper pack. There's a million other ways, but I just had a battery laying around. For this, it's easy. So see there, we got red. I think white was the ground. Yeah, there's white. Yellow is your auxiliary color. White. And this will be like your stop. So this black will be your running light. Red will be your stop light. So we're gonna wire it to that light. It's the brighter of the two. And then just to show you the purple, use white as our ground. And there's the purple. So yeah, not too tricky. I've isolated two of these 3-prong or 3-port plugs off of that piece of harness I have here. So we'll take and we'll just hook some of this stuff up. So like I said, we're going to use the white as our ground, And red is your high, so we'll use white here. Red is our red. Do the same for this one. White. It's kind of nice because these correspond also with the colors on the lights. So plug those in. And just for testing purposes, the only downfall to this is I use 4-inch spacing, so these wires that stick off are actually really short. I could have clipped it maybe a little bit closer to the base on the one side because it's going to terminate on one end, but I wanted to be able to make sure I could actually terminate these well so they weren't going to cause a short. So this looks like the longer side. I'll play with it for now, and we'll just strip off just a little bit for the time being. That's all we need to really test the colors. We wanted to add the purple light in, so we'll add the purple because that's going to be our switch color. It's going to go where black is. Okay, well, we're here at the truck. I got this light pulled out here. Had to pull the speaker out. The plug was kind of stuck. I didn't want to hurt anything, but got a test light going. We found out that the right side of this plug is constant power. The left side of the plug also powers up, but let's see if I can get a, hold on, let me reposition. So the left side is also constant power, but it's actually switched to the door. So left is the door button. That'll be our white light. Right is constant all the time. That'll power our red and purple lights. And then this bottom one is just a ground. So if that makes sense to you, that's what we're gonna wire our light accordingly. And then we're in the bunk here testing the fluorescent light. We're going to change that too. We found out that the bottom is ground, left is also switched power, and right is constant power. So that's cool. Well, it's the next day now. We're back at the shop and it is miserable outside. Sorry if it's loud in here. It's raining pretty good. It's actually right around the freezing mark, so the trees are getting heavy. Might have a bit of an ice storm on our hands by tonight. But we're going to power through this. We're going to get this done. I've been wanting to do this for quite some time, so we're back. We got these stock plugs back, and for the sake of making this nice, you know, if we ever want to fix these back up, we can, but for now we'll probably never use these again. So I am actually just going to snip the plugs right off of them. Take these and we'll store them away for a while. Gave myself enough lead to make some good connections on there, but that looks good. Oops. There we go. 2 plugs. So like we said, if you orient the plug this way, that's how it will go in with that ground on the bottom. So this side will be our switched power. This side will be the constant. We'll hook the constant up to this switch. We'll run power to that switch, and then that switch will separate the power from the red lights to the purple light. And then this wire here that goes to the door switch, we will wire that to the white side. And it should be a pretty clean install, so let's get to that. I think we can just cut that wire. That will allow us to hook this up like so. Like we were talking about, we got the reds, then the purple, or sorry, this one here will go to the white, and then we'll use the lead from this side, and it will do purple. Cool. Okay, I think we got it figured out here. Got all of our connectors in place. These are really nice. These come from Parts Master, but these are a shrink and solder, or sorry, crimp and solder butt connector. A lot of times I will, you know, solder and shrink wrap everything, but just for sake of time and to make this fast, we're gonna do it this way. Especially when you're using a lot of these butt connectors, you really get, or these spade terminals, you really get a good connection. So these only work well if you have the proper crimping tool. So this is also a Parts Master tool, and you can see it's got the red, yellow, blue dots on there. So what this will do, they all correspond, and that gives a perfect crimp. And I haven't had any of these fail yet. The ones that you crimp with like the pliers, that, you know, those are always failing. That's why I went to soldering all my connections and using shrink tube. But with this, you know, kind of eliminates that and makes it really quick. So I got this figured out, figured out which connections I need. So first things first, we're gonna put the constant power, which if this is plugging into the light, it's on the right side. When you look at it this way, it would be opposite. So we'll think of it this way, as if it's plugging into that plug in the roof, the way I explained it earlier. And so the right side, which is this one, we'll go ahead and put a connector on. That'll give power to the switch. I'll show you how these work. Just kind of put them in there. I like to line this blue line up with the center of the tool. I don't know if you can see that. So line it up with the center and just give her a good squeeze in. And that's a perfect solid connection. It isn't gonna move. Then just take a little bit of shrink tube or heat. You can use a heat gun. I like using this torch lighter because it's on demand and it's fast. As long as you're careful, you shouldn't have any issues. So there's the power. It will go to the center pole on this switch. Next, we'll do our switched power, which is going to be that white light. So what we'll do there is we'll just use a normal butt connector. I've already got the wires stripped down. Like before, give it a good crimping. And we'll take this one here. Sometimes I like to get it ready, get it in the tool first, and then all you have to really do is just slip it in. So, crimp it down. And we're off to the races already. Next thing you got to do is let's take care of this ground wire. And I was going to use this one for the ground, but I think to make this easy, I'm going to use this side over here. And these are cool. These are a reduction. You see there's a red stripe and a blue stripe. These are 16 gauge to 14 gauge. So as you can see, this wire is a little bit bigger. So we'll put the 14 gauge there, and then these wires are a little bit smaller, so we'll put the 16 gauge on that side. And then you have a good connection every time. So these are pretty quality connectors. And if you want to do stuff fast and easy like this, these work really well and they're waterproof. So look them up, Parts Master. I think they're called Lawson Products now, and they were big in the States. So we got that side done. Now all we have to do is we'll just put our spade terminals, our female spade terminals, on these two wires, which will be the red and the purple. We should be in business. So for all intensive purposes, we've got, we can actually hook this switch up now. We've got our switched power, which is on this side, going to our black wire, which is feeding our auxiliary wire on this one, which is white. And then our constant power, we will run to the center position on this switch. No problem. And then the ground, it runs into the harness, which runs both lights. And then off that harness, I actually split these apart so I could use the dual function on both. They will hook up this way, so it doesn't really matter. It'll be your preference, but the red will go to one side and the purple will go to another. So that's it. And then, you know, I'll clean these extra wires up. It was a harness, it's a daisy chain of a harness, so there's going to be wires on both sides, but this really made wiring this easy. And I have nice connections with these bullet style plugs that, you know, we can take this out and change these lights out really easy without having to hardwire them in. So it will in the long run end up paying off. So every time the door opens, boom, the white will come on. That's cool. And then for this one, you should be able to just switch. Yeah, so one way is red and the other way is purple. So not hard stuff to do, guys. It takes a second to wrap your head around, maybe, so you can figure it out. But, you know, in the long run, pretty simple. You can even have that one, you know, on, and then, you know, run them both. So my lead came disconnected. So I'm going to take a few seconds now, and I'll trim these up, and I will, you know, kind of make this a little cleaner. And we'll move on and we'll wire the next one. So there, cleaned up a little bit. I got this switch sticking out quite far because I like the way it looks on this side. But if it's a bit tight, shoving it up into the headliner, then I can always drop this down and give myself a little bit more clearance. But for the most part, yeah, you're not going to see that. That's all going to be up. That's all going to be up inside the headliner. So as long as we have a nice connection, there's no way this can short out. The wires are all safe and tucked away. Should be good. So let's get to the next one. There they are, 2 done. So next we have this plate here, which is going to replace the fluorescent light in the sleeper. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 watermelon lights going on there. So again, we're going to use purple and red all the way across. We're going to wire it very similar. We just won't have the white lights this time. And we'll have purple and red and be able to switch back and forth which color you like. So I'm not going to bore you with all that. We're going to get to wiring this. And I'll catch up with you after. But I can't save this all for myself. So let's do a bit of a, oh yeah, bit of a stainless reveal here. Oh, look at that. Shiny. Need to get these lights on this plate. Let's do it the easy way. And there you have it. All done up. And now we'll just wire them up basically the exact same way we did those two. And then hopefully the next clip is us back at the truck at the other shop installing these bad boys and seeing what they look like. So let me get to wiring these and then hopefully we'll be at the truck. We'll see. Okay, let's try this again. It's the next day now. I came to the shop yesterday and I was telling you we had that big ice storm or whatever. It was raining and freezing rain. One of the power lines got knocked down, so we're actually out of hydro here at the shop. So I did manage to plug these bad boys in, and they worked the way I had hoped. So that's working on off with the door, and then you can obviously one way for red, and then off, and the other way with purple. So let me get some screws in these. I'll get them mounted up and then show you what they look like all said and done. Well, like they say, nothing is ever plug and play. You see here, that is the hole, and this is the hole on the interior, and they're about, I don't know, 2.5 inches apart. I got one screw in the back here, and these just are not going to work, so we will have to do a bit of modifying to get them to fit. No big deal. Probably won't do that today because I don't really have time. But maybe we'll move to the sleeper light and see, and then we can think on this and what we're going to do. In my other trucks that have these, one thing I did is I made another plate similar to this, and I put rib nuts in it, and I used it, and it was hollow in the center, and I used it to sandwich the light in between the upholstery. So maybe I will do something like that here, and then I just have to drill. I'll probably use the 2 holes that are at this end so it offsets the light back just a little bit, because I think it's just a little bit too close to the front of the headliner. I don't like the way it looks per se. Like, you can see how close it is here. I would prefer if it was back just a touch, so I think, you know, that'll bring it to the ends about here, and we'll just drill those extra 2 holes, and we'll have that plate in the top that you can just put your bolts right into a rib nut in that sandwich plate on the top. So we will try that. We'll have to make those. I'll have to go probably run by Todd's shop. That's what I did last time. He has a bunch of scrap aluminum, and then I just marked the holes, drilled them out, put some rib nuts in, and made a sandwich plate. That is probably the easiest solution to our problem here. The cleanest, and we'll have a really nice solid mount. There's other ways to do it, but I like that way. So it's dark back there, but you can see the light hanging. And let's go back there and play around a little bit. Okay, that's a little better. This is Canadian Class Interior. There are a bunch of lights in here. There's this map plate. There's that one there somebody's got as red. There's one up here, which the bulb is dead. Bulb is also burnt out in this one. There's one here. There's one here. There's one there. So quite a bit of lights in this truck. And how this is going to work, there's a switch here on the side of the closet. Flip the switch. Woo! We got red. And then you can flip that switch and you got your purple. So I did mock this up earlier. The screw holes do line up on this one, which is kind of nice. So let me get this one mounted and I'll show you what it looks like. And there you have it. It's kind of a bad angle, bad view, but that is how it looks. Nice and clean. Mounted right up into place the way it was supposed to. We got our switch on this side. Like I said, you just flip this little button here. We got purple, setting the mood. Red light district, come on. Let me shut some of these off. These are bright. I love it. Turned out awesome. Like, check that out. That looks sweet. Look at that. Switch works good. Woo! So anyways, I think we're going to end her there on that video. Thanks for watching. I will probably update you quickly in one of the other videos how we finish these off. But for now, we're going to end the video. Thanks so much for watching. Keep up the nice comments. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. That really helps out a lot. If you like this video, go back and watch some of my other videos. We got lots of trucking videos. If you're into farming, we got lots of farming videos. Give them a try. There's a whole playlist on the build of this truck. Hit the bell. And if you're looking for a new channel to watch, check out Stevens Ltd. He's another local Ontario guy that does a really good job, makes some really good trucking content videos as well. So check out Stevens. Shout out to Shane, and we'll catch you on the next one.